Okay, so there seemed to be quite a bit of interest in the clever badges for logging into Chromebooks, particularly for younger kids. So I thought I'd just kind of put together a quick video showing the process of setting this up. This isn't going to be like every single detail of it, but just to give you an overview of what's kind of involved with it and where the instructions and everything else go. So basically, you need to sign up first with clever.com. And set up your school, which is relatively straightforward. Once you've done that, there is actually a set of instructions in here to get yourself started. So under the settings here, there's a setup guide which talks you through the process, and this is already personalized for your particular setup once you're there. So you've basically got to go through the admin console, through Google Admin Console, and just set up these pieces. Basically what it's doing is to set up a single sign-on that's kind of a selective single sign-on. It won't affect any of your existing users at all in terms of their sign-on process. It'll only affect a small subset of users that you actually select afterwards. But basically you run through these steps in the admin panel to get it set up first, which is probably the easier bit. Actually, it's pretty straightforward. You just follow the instructions and go through. We made a couple of changes to it. I think the only major one, that the setup here has the lid of the Chromebook closing and it automatically logging out. But I kind of figured between lessons and if students are moving around, that could be a bit of a pain if it logged them out. So I turned that bit off. But apart from that, that's pretty much it. So it's kind of that start off with. So you've got a couple of pages of setup to do in the admin panel first off. Then you're kind of done on that end, and you can actually go to the admin panel and do a little bit of setup with the devices. So basically on this setup, what we've got is we've got an organization that's created here. And this organization has some particular settings that were within that guide to go on. So it's just one here called Clever Badges. So inside Clever Badges, then we have those particular Chromebooks here set up. And what then happens is that if we just go to users here, then we have the same thing here. So we've got a Clever Badges user thing here, and then these are the students then that are then added to that particular piece. So the actual most difficult bit I found, that lot was all pretty easy, and that's all in the instructions how to do that. The bit was a bit of a pain is setting up the data. So we have this only with 1 year level, so that's 90 students that you can see just here. Now getting this lot set up actually was a bit of a pain. You've got to upload some CSV files. The only ones you actually really have to worry about is the school and the students. The other ones are actually not that important. But getting these set up in the first place was a right pain until I actually found that they already exist to download within the... Now let me get this right. Where's this data kept? Find it again now. This is the problem. Is it under sync settings? Yes. So under the sync settings here, you'll actually find here, why it's over here and not with the upload. But this basically, so you can download this example and it will download you a set of Excel files that you can kind of just use to put your student data in, which I didn't find initially, so I spent ages making the CSV files myself, and there's no need. So you download these, put in your student data, and then you upload those pieces into the system. Now what you will then have, once you've done all that, is the ability to download all of your badges here. So just tapping on this will basically download each badge as an individual file, as well as an overall PDF file that has them all in together. And these badges are just a QR code. You can get individual ones. If you go to the data browser here, then I could browse individual students and set them up. But once you've done with all of that, you can just kind of print them out and use them. So it'll obviously only work on the Chromebooks that you have got set up in the admin panel and actually provisioned for this. It's only going to work for those Chromebooks. And obviously, the other downside, I guess, something to think about is just in terms of the fact that it only works on those computers. So the students, when they go home, if you want to log into their account, they're still going to have to know their email address. It really works just for rapid access on those Chromebooks, particularly in a shared environment. It's a really quick way of getting in. So we still do both with the students. They use other computers in the school and log in via their email address. They do that at home. So we still teach them to do that. It's just so that we can make things a little bit faster when they're actually logging in. But yeah, as I said, it wasn't the most difficult of things to set up. You just got to have admin panel access, which obviously may be held by administrative people for your school, district level or whatever, but I'm sure they can help you with that if you talk to them about it, because it does have some benefits for the younger students in terms of setting it up. As I say, it's absolutely free. The nice thing is that you can get you can set a portal then and actually customize that portal. So if I go to the student, how do I see that portal at the top here? So you can then set up your own portal here that the students will then see when they come in, which is kind of cool because if you've already got other single sign-ons for tools, you can integrate those here. If it's Google single sign-on, then that's kind of ideal. That'll work really well. But this is the first page the kids will come to, so particularly for the younger learners, it really works quite well when they first come into the Chromebooks. So, as I say, I hope that helps a little bit. It's not like a full step through of doing this. Really, the best thing to do is just sign up to Clever first, and then go through those instructions that are within Sync and no, they're not within Settings, Badge Settings, Chromebook. So that's got the guide then to go through to get it all set up. But hope that helps a little bit.